What is going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Talking Buffalo, your weekday daily driver for Buffalo Sports Talk and more. My name is Patrick Moran. Thank you so much for listening to the show, for watching, however you are consuming this podcast. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Today's show is presented by the law offices of William Mattar. Heard in a car, call William Mattar, 444-4444. Call William Mattar today to get the compensation that you deserve. This is our Monday podcast. On the video side, we are live as always around 9 p.m. or so on a Sunday night. Buffalo Bills post-game show. The Bills going to Pittsburgh and quite literally imposed their will. They grounded and pounded the Steelers into submission. The Bills win this game 26-7, move to 8-4 on the season, a big win. Going to talk about a lot of things going on from this game, just a lot of stuff in general, because as always, joined by my buddy down in New York City, Joe in Queens. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Just had a busy last 4 days with Thanksgiving and seeing Santa and having my kid lose his mind while talking to Santa or seeing Santa this morning. I look forward to getting those pictures back.
In a good way or bad way? What do you mean? Elaborate. I got to know this, man. The people want to know. What do you mean?
He was screaming. Like, he just was like, ah, like that. Like, it was as if I left my kid with you to babysit, and he was like, no, and then like ran away. Like, he's not a big Saint Nick fan, and it's like the second year in a row does not want to be held by Saint Nick. So, but yeah, it is what it is, and I look for. We'll get the photos soon enough, and I'll be posting it on my my awesome Facebook album that you love every day.
I do. I actually
terrible
do.
Twos. Yeah, you
terrible
do love
twos.
that. I mean,
I do.
My terrible. Yeah, so I post as bad photos of Andy as possible to be a horrible dad and to get blackmail material for when he's like 20, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna post this online if you don't buy me a beer or something like that. So, but yeah,
I respect it. I respect the fact that, every picture and every status on Facebook, especially when it comes to parents with their kids, has got to be the best. My kid's the greatest. He did this, he did that. Look at him doing this. You like to post pictures of him having various temper tantrums, which kind of his signature move is to just lay on the ground. That's like, what is he? So he yells and then he just lays on the ground, and that's his way of protesting.
Yeah, he
whatever
screams
you're doing.
and then he lays on the ground, but he doesn't when he lays on the ground, he doesn't scream. He just usually is chill, but he'll go, yeah, and then he'll like fall down, and that's it. So it's enjoyable, I guess.
I like doing that. Before we get into this game itself, like I said, Buffalo 26, Pittsburgh 7. The Buffalo Bills ran for 249 yards. It is the most against the Steelers in Pittsburgh in literally 50 years. James Cook ran for $144. Ray Davis added 62 of his own. The Bills ran for 4.9 yards per carry. That's enough to make Joe crack a beer, man. Quietly, It looks like he's sneaking it in there. What do you got, man? What's up? What kind of beer you got?
I have this is a Kansas City beer, so I feel like I'm betraying our people, but it's called a Boulevard Brewing Company. It's a collaboration with Whitman's, and it's a s'mores beer. It's barrel aged stout, so it's supposed to taste like a s'more, and it's a stout. So there you go. I'm going to enjoy this. I've had this before. It was so good that I had to go back to the same beer place and get it twice because they sell individual cans. So very excited to have this. I feel like it's a stout day. I know you don't like stouts at all, right? I know we're supposed to talk about the game. No, you don't like any. You like the worst beers of all time. Do you like ciders?
Maybe one or two. Then I
feel like you're like the type. Yeah, I feel like you're the type that wants a sugary beer. Like you like that Bud Light lime crap. Like,
to an extent. I just like basic shit. Like, I like Pilsners, lagers, kind of like the boring stuff. Shout out, by the way, people in the live chat. Alex Barber's in the house. Tooch. It's not a live show unless Tooch is in the house, so that makes my night.
Carlisto's in the house. I saw his first 5 comments were about Trump. I don't know where he's going there, but I'm not about to read that stuff.
No,
But
no, no,
anyways,
no, no Trump stuff here. But shout out to
yeah.
everybody in the live chat. Let me say this too. There's a underrated unsung hero of this afternoon, and I'll ask for yours, but let me give you mine first, okay?
Okay.
The unsung hero of this football game, without question, is my friend John Lake. The Bills won this game in large part because of my friend John Lake. So I got to come on this show and give him some props. I'm going to put this up here on the screen so everybody can see it. So the Bills played like shit in the first half. Well, that's not true. They didn't play like shit in the first half, but they couldn't get anything going on the offense, and they turned the ball
They
over.
played like shit in the first
They
half.
did play
Go
like
ahead.
shit. They had two
Okay.
turnovers. They were down at the half 7-3. You can see it up on the video side. My buddy John decided to take matters into his own hands via Fireball, and I screenshotted a handful of his pretty drunken statuses during this game. But anyway, this was at halftime. His first message was, "Okay, DoorDash just delivered Fireball. This team needs me." And then it says about 20 minutes or so later, "The Fireball can't be stopped. I apologize for the first half. Game on now." And then what is it? "I am fucking invincible right now." So he takes credit for the Bills winning because he had Fireball DoorDashed. Have you ever had liquor DoorDash to your house, Joe?
I have not, but I thought about it for my nephew's birthdays that are coming up because he's now 21. So I thought about getting him DoorDash like liquor and just getting it delivered because obviously I can't. I don't want to order it from a place, but I have not yet done that. But it sounds fun.
Well, he said, "Hi, God, me again. This might not be the lesson you want me to learn. Let's fucking go, Bills." So it turned into one of those Sundays, and I got to give credit to my guy John, who spearheaded the charge in the second half for the Bills, which, by the way, is also some redemption because earlier this week, let me put this video up. I can't help but laugh at this thing. Let's watch this.
God.
Oh, fucker.
I'll play one more time.
I saw you do this, yeah.
Yeah, this one, I put this on all my socials. Bam!
Oh, fucker.
Oh, fucker.
Oh.
Ow.
That's the worst.
Winner back here in Buffalo, New York, as John found out. But anyway, Fireball John helped key the Bills, so got to give him some love on the show.
Nothing's worse than slipping when it's snowing. Like, nothing is worse. Like, it's surprising. It sucks because you slip, and it hurts, and it's cold. So it's not like you slip, like, when it's, like, 60 degrees. Like, oh, you slip. It's like a double whammy. So I feel bad for your buddy over there.
Joe doesn't run out of beer, so he doesn't need to get beer DoorDash. That's from Mike Curley.
Very true. That's very true. And I'm
fair.
also, yeah, that's fair. But I hate Fireball. Fireball's disgusting. I don't like any shots anymore. I really can't do shots anymore. I know you can.
No, I've stopped. I stopped. I can't handle shots anymore. But yeah, Fireball is just so sugary. All right, so anyway, back to this game on a serious note. I promised my guy John I was going to shout him out. But the Bills ran for 249 yards in this game, 4.9 yards per carry, where everybody in the stadium knew they were going to run the ball. I was watching some post-game from the Steelers stuff, and TJ Watt sat in front of the podium and says he's never in his life seen a situation where they knew they were going to run the same play over and over and over again, and they still couldn't stop it. He was quite literally at a loss for words. The Bills, Joe, held the ball for 41 minutes in this game. It felt like Super Bowl 25, where the Giants kept the ball and the Bills couldn't get him off the field, except this time it was the Bills controlling the ball. And for me, the signature drive of this game, where just really kind of showed the difference between these two teams. Pittsburgh's down 16. They get inside the red zone. They're going for it on 4th and 2. Greg Rizzo makes a great run stop. The Bills get the ball back. There's still like over 10 minutes in the game. The Bills went on a 14-play, 72-yard, and they chewed up 9 minutes and 4 seconds of that clock on their last drive. Like I said, just an absolute imposing of their will. And Mike Tomlin, let me ask you this. If the roles were reversed, because Pittsburgh had a lot to play for, this wasn't like the Arizona Cardinals that the Bills were playing. They're in a dogfight to win the AFC North. And if this was Sean McDermott and Pittsburgh was just running their ball down the throat and he wasn't even using timeouts, like Mike Tomlin didn't even bother using timeouts in the fourth quarter. He just let the clock. He wanted to be done. He wanted to be off that field. Like, what would your reaction be if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Joe from Queens right now? What's your reaction from a Steelers point of view?
I would not want Mike Tomlin as my coach. I just think the Steelers are like done. They've been done. They are what the Bills were 15 years ago, except like reverse the numbers, 9-7 every year. The Dick Duran years in terms of it. That's what just all they're doing every year. They're the same thing. They're playing it safe, and that's what they kind of want. And I wouldn't want Mike Tomlin there anymore, or I feel like it's kind of time. But they don't. The Steelers don't fire guys. And like Tomlin gets a lot of credit, but like Tomlin, I can't even remember the last time they won a playoff game. It wasn't this decade, or no, maybe it was. No, it wasn't this decade that they won a playoff game. It's only been like 5, 6, 7 years. But to go back to your imposing in the running game, like hey, the Steelers were not a good rush defense heading into this game, and we knew that the Bills were going to do. They're going to run the football. They got their backup tackles out, all that shit. They had to run the football in this game, and they did. And they did an amazing job. And I don't know, like if you feel better about the Bills' chances down the road, or how you feel. Like, did today change your mind at all about them, or did you? Because I knew you were scared. You messaged me. I think I don't listen to your post.
I picked the Steelers to win. No, of course you didn't listen to the show. You never listened.
But I'm
to
just
the
saying.
Show.
No, never. But I'm saying, like, did it? It shot. You picked them to win. Did this change your mind about the Bills now? Like, are you feeling upbeat about them? Like, do you still feel the same way, except they just beat a shitty Steelers team? Like, how do you feel in general?
Well, on the previous show, I did pick the Steelers to win. I picked them to win 27-20. It's the third time this year I picked against the Bills, and it's the third time this year I've been wrong when I picked against the Bills. I also picked Baltimore and Kansas City to win. So I just thought not having the tackles was going to be too much to overcome.
Yeah.
And plus, no Dalton Kincaid, no Josh Palmer. I just thought it was going to be too much to overcome. Let me chew on that. We'll get back to that. It's a great topic. It's a good question. Does it change the outlook of the season for me, or does it give me more confidence? Does it give you more confidence? Well, we'll shelf that for a little bit later in the show. I want to chew on that I want to think about that for a little bit. That's a great question. People, if you're watching on the live side anyway, if you want to chime in, does this victory by the Buffalo Bills, as Joe just asked me, does that kind of change how you feel about this team going forward, or do you just consider this a win on the road against an inferior opponent? Here's the thing, though. Are they really an inferior opponent? I never thought they were one of the best teams in the league, okay? But they do have a capable quarterback. They got a great receiver that they're giving $30 million to. They got T.J. Watt. They have that pass rush generated more sacks coming into this week than the Houston Texans did. So they got after the quarterback. Jalen Ramsey's a good player. Joey Porter's a really good corner. Patrick Queen, dirty-ass middle linebacker. I don't like to root for people to get hurt, okay? Let me say that.
Here comes the Aaron Rodgers slander.
No, it's not about Aaron Rodgers. No. You might have been driving. Did you see were you watching when the late hit that Pittsburgh got away with?
Oh yeah, the late hit when Queen blasted
filthy.
Allen. Yeah, that was
filthy.
Yeah.
Filthy. Anyway,
yeah.
I was not, let's just put it this way. I was not upset when he got hurt like a couple plays later. Fuck him. That was a dirty hit. By the way, because I'm focused on other things on the screen. When you're talking, if you see anybody who's got a comment worth, read it off, be sure or feel free to do that. But anyway, going back to the Steelers.
A couple people. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
I was going to say, listen, this was a big game for the Steelers. They know what's at stake, and they're at home, and they're playing a team, the Buffalo Bills, that had 3.5 offensive starters not in the lineup here, man. So they were probably chopping at the bit. That's why I picked the Steelers. I'm like, this just feels like the Bills were favored in this game, and I thought that was asinine. I obviously was completely wrong. This was a gut check for the Bills above all else. You agree with that? This was a legit gut check for them.
I mean, they have to win. Look, nothing is guaranteed right now. If you came on this podcast and told me, I don't think the Bills are making the playoffs, I wouldn't say you're nuts. I'd be like, yeah, that's a possibility. If you came on here and I came on here and was like, oh yeah, they'll be like a 5th seed or 4th. Yeah, it's a possibility. Like there's a lot of possibilities right now, except the division is gone. That's so like, yeah, it was a gut check. They have to win. Like if they lost this game, like good luck getting in the playoffs. They'd be in the hunt they'd be in the hunt bracket right now if they lost to today's game.
Yes.
So it's crazy to me, like just where they are. But yeah, it was a performance that did surprise me, because of the injuries, like you said, and the for what they did to Pittsburgh, like to that defense, and how great the run blocking was, and doing it without Dawkins and Spencer Brown, who are arguably they're your two best offensive linemen on this team. You know what I mean? Like, forget the interior. The
Without
interior's good.
question.
Yeah, it's those two, and they just dominated up front. Dominated. Now, is that a formula for down the road against like the Bengals next week? I don't know, because I think the Bengals are gonna impose their will a lot more. I didn't respect the Steelers' offense all that much. I respected their defense a little bit much more. But I was wrong on that account. Like, their defense just didn't really. They gave up 2 billion yards rushing.
They did, and I think I got two big. I don't want to say they're takeaways, but two big points to make from this game. That number one, your best players got to make plays, and there's probably been nobody in the Bills content community, whether it's content creators, media fans, anybody who's probably been more rough on Joey Bosa over the last 3 to 4 weeks than I have. I have said this guy plays like trash recently. Didn't you and I have a show? I'm pretty sure you were my guest where I said he was running around like he had doo-doo in his drawers a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, you were
like he was mall walking, like he's mall walking, chasing somebody after the ball.
You ball watched that insult way too much for my liking. It wasn't really that good of an insult.
Well, I thought it was pretty good. But anyway, my point is he's been invincible for the Bills. He's not getting after the quarterback. He's just not making any plays in the running game. He's been really bad. Anyway, I want to start with Joey Bosa right now because that play, the first play to third quarter. So again, the Bills get inside the 5. They got a chance to tie before the half. They might have went for it on 4th and goal from like the 2-yard line or something. And I think Torrance jumped off sides or a false start. Anyway, they ended up setting for a field goal. They're down 7-3. You got to let that stew all half long. Pittsburgh's getting the ball. I'm like, man, I hope the Bills can continue to play good defense. Well, literally the first play of the half, Joey Bosa crushes Aaron Rodgers. The ball pops out. Christian Benford, who was in on a run blitz, is there to pick it up, takes it to the house. The Bills take the lead, and they never trailed again. For me, Joe, I've been thinking about this now for a couple hours. That was a top 3 play of the season for the Bills, I think. Without question, actually. You got the Ed Oliver forced fumble in week 1 against Baltimore. That really turned the tide of that game. You had the Terrell Bernard. Say what you want about him, folks. And there's a lot of people who aren't fans of him this year. But anyway, he did have that interception off Tua very late in the 4th quarter when Miami was going to tie the game to seal it for the Bills against Miami. And I think you have Joey Bosa here. To me, that's a top 3 play of this entire season.
That feels a little overstating it for me, only because I didn't think the Steelers were all that good. It was 7-3, Pat. It wasn't like the Ed Oliver thing. That wasn't a crucial. Like, they don't get that play, they're losing that game. I don't think they're losing this game if Joey Bosa doesn't kill Aaron Rodgers. Now, with that being said, I give him credit. That was a great pass rush. Aaron Rodgers is done. That's why when you say the Steelers have I don't know what word you like okay quarterbacking. I disagree. I think Rodgers is terrible. I think they just like to run the football and they play the boring Pittsburgh Steelers team game or whatever the hell they do. I think with Rodgers, if you get after Rodgers, he's screwed. He's not as mobile as he used to be. Doesn't get the ball off quick. And it was a big play, but I'm not putting it like in the ball washing category for the best player.
Well, then you're wrong. If you want to argue it's not a top 3 play, but if you're saying it's not even ball washing category, you're crazy.
No, it can be. No, I'm saying for the season, it's not a ball washing category. Okay, you got it on the ball washing Mount Rushmore of plays of the year. I don't. It was a nice play. Okay, but I don't even think it was a big play of the game. I thought the biggest play of the game was not to jump ahead, but I will because I don't listen to your rundowns. I thought it was the Keon Coleman touchdown. The 4th down. That was a big ass play. It was 4th down. It was 4th and goal, bro. That's when you really took it. And then by then the game was over. Like, there was no way. I had no confidence the Steelers were doing anything. I just didn't. Their offense looked like shit this whole game. They were terrible. And I think you're pumping Pittsburgh up a little bit too much for my liking.
Well,
Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh.
let me say
go ahead.
this too. So the Joey Bosa play not only was it's equivalent to a pick six because it was literally a touchdown. They gave the Bills the lead, but he also broke Aaron Rodgers' nose or whatever. He was out the next series, and Mason Rudolph airmails an interception on the next series that was intercepted that the Bills eventually turned into the Keon Coleman touchdown. So that was another 7-point swing in this game. In a minute 44, the Bills had 2 turnovers, and it was led by Bosa. And I go back to last week. My takes have been really good lately. Like I've had some awesome.
Try not to break your hand.
If you're not listening to this show every day, folks, you are missing out on some high quality takes.
I don't even know. Is there anyone that really does listen to your show every day? There can't be.
I think so.
No way.
I think
There's no way I could. I still can't believe you had a Thanksgiving show. I saw that message.
I actually switched it. Last minute, I switched it. I did Black Friday, and then I did a bonus Saturday.
Oh, my God.
But in all seriousness, and I put up a clip that everybody was ball washing the Bills defense last week in Houston because they held them to 3 points and 35 yards. And I said, look, it was a fine performance, but let's not go overboard here because the offense was helpless and Houston's offense, it was booty cheeks.
You wanted turnovers. That's what you wanted.
I wanted impactful plays because you needed it last week. Let's go back to the Houston game. The Bills offense couldn't do shit. They needed a strip sack like Bosa gave them today. They needed an interception like Benford gave them today. And they didn't get that. They stopped them. They held them without scoring, but that wasn't good enough. This week, they went above and beyond because the offense, whatever, at the half, I don't care about the yards and the first downs at a time, whatever. 7-3 at the half. They were down. They scored 3 points in the first half. So that matters.
I agree. I just didn't think. I don't think anyone played good in the first half. Like, I don't think the Pittsburgh played well. I don't think the Bills played well. So I don't have it as this, oh, man, it changed the game. They both were shitty in the first half. Both teams were. Well, and, look, I'll take the play. It's fine. I know you're ball washing Bosa. That's fine. And Benford was great, too. And the defense, it definitely was a prototypical, like, Sean McDermott defense when it's good Sean McDermott, which is forcing turnovers, getting some sacks, and that's kind of what you need. Like, that's when their defense is good. It's when they're forcing turnovers, or as you call it, big plays. And like they forced a couple of big ones today. And the key was the offense capitalized on both. I mean, not the offense. They did the recovery. They did it themselves, but they got touchdowns off of those turnovers.
Yeah, 14 points, which kind of goes to what my second big takeaway was. So number one is a great player or a guy you pay to be a great player has to make a great play. And they did. Again, Joey Bosa with a game-impactful changing play. I think they would have lost anyway, even if they would have, Pittsburgh, if they would have converted. But that fourth down, Greg Rizzo shut the door down in the red zone on any chance that the Steelers had to score in a touchdown and maybe getting a 2-point conversion and making this a one-score game. So the guys who were paid to be impactful players were. And then the other thing, I mean, I'm beating a dead horse, but I keep saying it over and over and over again. You have resisted at times. Other times you've agreed. Turnovers, man. Turnovers. They're so critical. The Bills, for the most part, yardage-wise, possession-wise, they dominated the first half. However, they turned the ball over twice. Josh Allen with a pretty bad interception on a route to Gabe Davis. I got to go back and look at that. I think Gabe might have pulled off a little bit early on the route. Regardless, whatever. It was an interception there, and James Cook just fumbled, lost the ball, which turned into Pittsburgh's only touchdown of the game. So despite the fact that the Bills were dominating in the first half, they had like 90 more yards than the Steelers in the first half, but they were losing because they turned the ball over twice and didn't get any takeaways. And then, bam, third quarter, minute 44, 2 turnovers, 14 points off of them directly. So to me, it's and the Bills were never threatened after that second turnover that they got. And I'm such a proponent of turnovers being critical, especially when you go and you look at their losses this year, dude. They've turned the ball over a lot in these losses. They turned over twice today, but they got them back. Means everything.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I'm sorry.
Of course you don't.
No, because I don't know what's with you in the turnover thing. Like that's your big. Come on, look. The Bills had one good drive to me. Was at the end of that half. The turnover battle that you're fucking boasting about. Who won the turnover battle? Guess what? No one did. They both had 2 and 2. because the Bills' offense, they ran the ball better. That's why they won this game. It wasn't because of these stupid turnovers.
I'm not saying
You
the turnovers
just
changed
said,
the game.
You just said, oh, they dominated. I don't think they dominated the first half. I don't think they were that good. They had like one really great drive. Like, dude, they had 5 first downs in the first quarter. I don't know. I don't think they You're acting like because they turned the ball over, that's why they were down. And I don't agree with that.
The Bills had 176 yards in the first half, and they only got 3 points out of it.
That's not a lot. 176 isn't that great. I don't know. I think you're on pace for 325 yards for the game. I don't know. I don't follow that logic. I know you love turnovers now. You're like fucking Phil Simms and Tony Romo and all these old people.
Pat is pandering to the turnovers.
Pat is pandering to turnovers now. I don't know what he like saw. Like is this very old? I don't know. It's old to me about turnovers. The point is that they won by 3 scores or whatever the freaking final score was, and the turnover battle was even. So
the
the
Bills lost by a score last week in Houston. How many turnovers did they have?
Oh my God, you're gonna go with the turnover.
They had 3.
Again.
How many takeaways did they get? They had 0.
Yeah, okay, so that's it. That's all you want.
They turned the ball
turnovers.
over 3 times.
Dick
Miami.
Duran. They had a lot of interceptions in 2008 with Dick Duran, and they finished 7-9. Why don't you blow them too?
The Bills have had 8 turnovers in their 3 road losses this year to teams
turnovers,
that they were favored
okay,
in.
but tell me how many yardage did they have? How many yards did they have? Did they have over 200 yards rushing? No, they didn't. It's about yardage. It's about moving the football, and I don't think they've moved the football that great in the first half. I think you're smoking crack.
If you watch this game and you can't conclude that takeaways played an enormous factor in this game, the first 2 minutes of the third quarter, I don't know what to tell you, man.
But they were even overall. They were even, and they returned it for a touchdown. They were even. That's all I'm saying.
They were even overall. I agree. But the game changed in the Bills' favor when the defense got their 2 takeaways.
Fine,
it literally changed the game.
Okay, it did. But they would still it was still even. And I think they were they rushed. They figured out. Because I think what the problem was in the first half, they were trying to pass more than they probably should have. And then they finally said, F this in the second half. Let's rush it like it's 1973 O.J. Simpson Electric Company with
that kills you. There's two things you hate, it's running the football and it's 8 defensive linemen rotating in and out of the game.
The line, by the way, I stole this from someone, but the nickname for there's the Electric Company and there's the line cooks. That's the offensive line that the Bills have with James Cook.
The line cooks? That's pretty
Line
dope.
cooks. It's pretty good, right? I mean, I stole it from someone. I told Dell about it. I told him you need to make a T-shirt, but he never listens to me, just like you don't listen to me. But yeah, no, the whole thing was, I think that's what they struggled a little bit was they were trying to throw the football. And look, I was fine with them rushing in this game because I, like you, was scared about the tackle situation. I mean, they have the passing game it's a joke. I don't want to say it's a joke, but it's not great, Bob. Go ahead.
Let me do this because I know where you're going with this. We got to take a quick break, and then I want to come back. We're going to talk about the running game of Joe Brady.
And read Johnny Utah's comment when he comes back from break.
All right, I'll read after break Johnny Utah's comment right after this quick break. All right, back here talking Buffalo live on the video side. Today's show presented, of course, by William Matar. All right, so Joe told me I have to read a comment from Johnny Utah. He says, turnovers are boomer talking points. Mm-hmm. It's about yardage and points per drive and scoring quickly to increase possessions. The Bills lost a turnover battle and rushing battle against Tampa. I don't believe they lost a turnover battle, by the way.
No, Tampa. They did lose a turnover battle against Tampa, you prick.
Sure, I said that to and there's going to be games like that. How could any reasonable person watch this game and not conclude that it changed on the Joey Bosa play? I don't know.
The Steelers are not good. That's the problem.
They were good enough to be in the lead when the play happened. They were in the lead.
Okay, great.
They were in the lead.
Why don't you and Matt Rich Warren the 7th talk about turnovers on Wednesday?
We're definitely
gonna grade every turnover. I mean, like this was an F turnover. This was a D.
That is funny. That is funny. Well, I do want to talk about Joe Brady and the Bills running game. Let me say this, and this is not me, because like say on Twitter, for an example, or you on Blue Sky, sometimes it's better to not have takes during the game than to have too many, because if I cared enough, I would have to go back on if I was concerned about people after the fact saying that my tweets suck or my thoughts, my takes suck. I ripped Joe Brady to the end of the earth throughout the first half because it was just so frustrating seeing them run the same plays over and over and over again. No creativity, no imagination, and it was frustrating. But as the game went on and you realize what they're doing is just flat out imposing their will, and they just figured, you know what, we'll run a little loop program today. We will run our high school JV program. We will run the same plays over and over and over and over and over and over again because you ain't going to stop them. And that's exactly what they did. If nothing else, you got to give Joe Brady some credit for saying, you know what, I'm committed to running the football. I am not going to let Ryan Vandermark and Alec Anderson kill us in pass protection, and we're just going to smash mouth the hell out of the football. Really don't give a shit what the fans and Talking Buffalo and other people think. We're going to run the football, and we're going to continue to do that. It's weird for me to say this because I was so hard on the guy throughout most of this game, but Joe Brady, to his credit, just said, you know what? The only way we're going to lose this game is if we turn the ball over. And they were just going to run the football, and that's what they did, man. I don't know. What's your assessment of this? And obviously, they can't do this every game. You can't expect to do this every game. But when you know you can do it, and Pittsburgh and TJ Watt know that you're going to do it, and they still couldn't stop it, why would you do anything else? I don't know how to feel about it. What do you think?
What's your question? You want me to ball wash Joe Brady?
Is Joe Brady is he deserving of the Joe from Queens ball washing right now? Is he the ball washer coach of the game?
I would give it more to I would give it to Aaron Kromer. I'm going to ball wash Aaron Kromer. I mean, right. The offensive line missing two guys and just they imposed their will their will on them and they just beat them. It felt like the same rushing plays, like kicking it to the outside. Ray Davis was good. James Cook was great. I guess I'm being harsh on Brady a little bit more, but I just think they called a lot of running plays because, like I said, I think they figured out in the first half, like they couldn't really throw the ball, and they were like, let's just run it, and that's all they did. So I don't know if that's a formula. Like you can't have that formula like every game. Like they have to. I'm sorry to go back to the passing game. I'm sorry to not ball wash the running offense. I mean, it's fine to have balance, I guess.
Well, this wasn't balance today. This was for just
it wasn't. I know, but in general, I'm fine with balance. But when you're one dimensional and you just run the football, you're not going to beat. I don't think you're going to beat like whoever they're playing. Like maybe you could beat the Patriots. I don't know. I just feel like you're going to have to they have to figure out what to do with the passing game. I'm sorry. The
Bills Tampa offense was, I'm surely a lot more exciting to you than this was.
Well,
it just felt like this was the right thing to do this game.
I agree with that. With this week, with their two tackles out, it was the right thing to do. So yeah, I guess I should give Brady a little bit more credit, but I think Kromer did a great job with the run. And look, Cook and Davis were great in this. Like we haven't seen a good Ray Davis like 1-2 punch game with him and Cook in a while. Since
he's been getting better.
He's been getting better. But they did a really good job, and I agree with the game plan. Like, but again, I think they were really trying at times to force the passing a little bit more in the first half, and then they kind of were like, we're done with this. Let's just rush it.
Johnny
good
Utah
adjustment, I guess.
Johnny Utah says, I'm not worried about the passing game once Palmer and Kincaid are back. Here's a fun fact about the passing game today, Joe. It's fun because they won. It wouldn't be fun if they lost. But the wide receivers, how many yards do you think the leading wide receiver had today in this game?
Okay, so I have not looked at the stats because I'm a terrible podcaster. I'm going to say 15?
Nope, you're too high, actually. 13.
Wow.
13. Brandon Cooks had a 13-yard catch, I believe, on the first drive.
That was a good catch. I remember that catch. I was like, hey, the new guy. He's back.
Yep, new guy. They threw to him right away, and that was it. Now, James Cook led the team with 33 yards receiving. Then it was Knox with 28 and Ty Johnson with 20. But in terms of the wide receivers, Brandon Cooks, 1 catch, 13 yards. Keon Coleman, we'll talk about him in a minute. 2 catches for 9 yards and a touchdown. Gabe Davis, 1 catch for 5 yards. Khalil Shakir, 1 catch for 5 yards. That's it.
Johnny
you add
Utah,
all those up, what is that? less than 50 yards receiving from all the wide receivers.
My boy Johnny Utah has a good comment in the chat. Shakir was booty cheeks, 2 drops, worst game I've ever seen him have. He did have a couple of drops, and like Shakir has not been. He's not been. When was the last good Shakir game? It's been a minute.
Last week.
What do you have last?
100 some yards. He had 244-yard plays. But he also lost a fumble last week, to your point. And so he lost a fumble. He had a bad decision on a punt return. I 70% agree with Johnny Utah there. I wouldn't say, though, one of them wasn't a drop. It was a bad throw from Josh Allen. I don't know if Johnny's talking about that. On that first down was a great play call, too. His first goal from the 5. It didn't matter. The Bills ended up scoring a touchdown anyway. But he had Shakir and Josh fighting. I think Tony Romo, who's kind of losing it a little bit, by the way, on the air, man.
He's taking pandering to a new level. Like, he makes you look like me when it comes to not pandering. Like, he's pandering a lot. Like, he's pandering all over the place.
Lee B in the chat, Bills 4 losses, and the Bills 4 losses, they had 11 turnovers. Look.
Hey, Lee, how many yards did they have in those 4 games? Like 5? Come on. I'm sorry. It's about Johnny Utah, who's second next to Tooch as a smart guy, said it best about yards.
Nobody's smarter than Tooch. Yeah, look, just different weeks have different game plans, and it's kind of like one of those, the light bulb didn't go off in my head, and I'm screaming at Joe Brady, and I'm yelling at my wife and my kid. And the
you
TV.
yelled at your wife and kid?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You're yelling at your wife? What the hell's wrong with you?
Why not? She yells more than I do during the game.
By the way,
I wasn't yelling at her specifically. I was yelling in her direction about my frustration with the Buffalo Bills.
You know, I don't ever say this, but shout out to Imperial Pizza, because you've been posting some food, and you posted on social media on Saturday a pizza. And that pizza looked very good. And that looked
good.
That's a good, yeah. So, you know, shout out to them. I know they're a sponsor, even though I don't get any of that money. But, you know, shout out to them and their pizza. Okay, yeah, keep going with the turnovers. Like, let's talk about the turnovers more.
By the way, let me ask you this, and let me ask everybody in the live chat this. I'm not sure I've ever asked this about the people who watch or listen to the show.
Oh, God.
How do I say this right? How emotionally invested do you get? And this is for everybody. And if you're not watching this live, please leave a comment. Let me know, or, you know, tweet at me if you're listening to this and you're not on YouTube. But how emotionally invested do you get in the games? Like, say this week with the win, last week with a really frustrating loss. And this is for you too, Joe. Like, how much does it bother you during the game? Like, if there was going to be, like right now we're doing a post-game show. If there was going to be a camera that was on you for the entire football game, what would we see? Would we be seeing an emotional, like borderline psychotic viewing experience from you? Are you kind of like cool, calm, and measured? Does it not really bother you that much? You and everybody else who's listening to this show, like, how do you watch the games, and how much emotional attachment and reaction do you have?
I'm pretty emotional. Like today I wasn't, because I was watching it with the in-laws, and so I was very like chill, and I had to kind of watch my kid in the background while I was watching the game. But if I'm by myself, yeah, I'm swearing and I'm calling. I usually call when Josh Allen's running. I'm like, you big fucking goof, go, you know. And like I'll insult everyone. I'm kind of a dickhead too, like from watching the game. And then I'll do like high fives, like if I'm at a bar. But you know, I get emotional. That's why I'm fine with people tweeting. Like a lot of I always hate the guy who complains about Bills Twitter during Bills games. Like it's like you're at a bar. Like, so if someone gets sacked, if Josh Allen gets sacked, you can say like, nice fucking play, dipshit, like, or tweet that out. Like, you can do that sort of stuff. It's during the moment, you know, like and like, you know, I respect people, like, you know, if I was you, and you don't tweet too much during games, but I probably would.
I do.
Well, you used to not. Now you're addicted to Twitter. I mean, you're tweeting right now while you're on your fucking phone on the video.
I'm not. I'm actually kind of going back to what I was telling you earlier about how I should delete some of these tweets that I have earlier in the game.
No, I don't. It's fine to keep it up, dude. It's during the middle.
I know, but it makes it. I'm just saying, it makes me look.
But you're stupid in general. But you're dumb, so it's fine. Just keep it up.
That's fair. But my point was, I was piling on Joe Brady, and Joe Brady was cooking. I just didn't like what Joe Brady was cooking, but he was cooking in the kitchen, and it wasn't what I wanted, though, and I was getting pissed. Here's one tweet I had. I said, win or lose this game, win or lose, if this game doesn't convince McDermott to fire Joe Brady, nothing will. This is an absolute embarrassment. They're treating Josh Allen like he's Marcus Mariota. This is disgraceful. Like, that's one of my real-time reactions during this game.
That's probably a little over the top to say it's treating him like Marcus Mariota. I mean, look, I'm not a big Joe Brady guy, but the passing game is a joke right now. It's not what it should be. It's not.
Let me give you one more. This is before that. There are no words to tell you how much I hate Joe Brady for calling that pitch to James Cook on first after 2 tough Josh runs. Dial up something down the field. You're an embarrassment of a coordinator. And then as I was getting ready to send that, I added update. And then there's a bubble screen because they ran a bubble screen on the next play. LOL. That's and there's a couple more. I don't want to read anymore. I'll be here.
Look, I mean, like if you like to pound the fucking football, Joe Brady's your guy. If you want to have 300-yard passing games, he's not your guy in terms of being an OC. But again, there are valid excuses. Their offensive line's a mess. Their wide receiving core is terrible. And it's just like a lot of it is on the talent, and that goes to Bean, and that goes to McDermott. If McDermott's the guy who, wants it. But you know what? And look, Alex Barber, great comment in the chat. This was a Cromer redemption game after Houston. He's right. Like, the line was great tonight. I mean, considering how terrible they were against Houston, you're right. It was night and day in terms of how they did. And your boy TJ Watt, didn't really do much. So
I'll tell you what. You know what? That's a great take and a good point. I guarantee you this. For most people, I'm sure most people heard D'Amico Ryans. He was on a podcast this week, and he was just taken back and stunned that the Bills were using 5-man blocking schemes against them, and they weren't chipping with the tight ends and the running backs. I can tell you this right now. I don't need to watch the film tomorrow to tell you. Tyrell Shavers, Dawson Knox, Reggie Gilliam, they were hitting TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith on the other side almost every single play. Like, they knew the assignment this week. They didn't, for whatever reason, maybe they were overconfident in Houston, and they thought Dawkins and Brown could handle Anderson and Hunter, which was absolutely not the case at all. Plus, those guys were hurt. Plus, those guys got hurt. So,
I mean, part of the reason why you want to spread it out is you're trying to, you want, it could be like your secondary. They thought that the Texas secondary wasn't very good. And sometimes you want to do that is if you have a ferocious pass rush, you do want to kind of spread them out sometimes because you get faster. But the problem is they don't have a good enough wide receivers who can get open.
Yeah.
And that's the issue right now. And but yeah, it was good for the line. Cook, I think I saw this last week. I looked it up on StatHead. He's got through last week he had the third most rushing yards in a Bills season through as many games as he played. And I have to assume since he had over 100 yards today, he's gonna he's gonna get he might break outside of not he's gonna break OJ's record, but he might have the second or third best rushing season of any Bill ever, maybe. At this point, I gotta look that up because what's his yardage total right now?
First and foremost, I want to say that as of this moment, he is he's within 54 yards now of Jonathan Taylor for the NFL lead.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if it's updated here in ESPN. If not, I can update it right now. I'll tell you exactly how many rushing yards he had. So they won. He's at 1,228 rushing yards, which is already 100 yards more than his career high, and he's still got 5 games left.
He's been great. We said, I've said this a couple times on this, about the Sean Bean not Sean Bean, though the Brandon Bean extensions. How the majority of these past extensions have not been great in terms of the short term. That dude, if he had waited to not sign that extension, he's I'm going to play it out this year. He would be making more money next year based on what he's doing right now.
Based on what he's doing right now, I agree. Here's a question that I got to ask you though. With Brandon Bean, a punching bag, and you know what? A lot of those punches he deserves to get square in the chest right now. The way the receiving room has been handled, I think is borderline disgraceful. The defensive line, by and large, all the investment in the resources, we don't need to get into all that. We already know. I don't want to make this about Brandon Bean today, but I will say this. If the Bills didn't sign James Cook and they played hardball and they said, you know what, you're not getting a new deal unless you play and have a great season, do you think that possibly James Cook goes into the season and says, you know what, I ain't getting hurt. If my shoulder starts bothering me, if my ankle's a little sore, I'm saving myself. I am not going to get my big brother had a major injury. I am not going to
Sure.
roll the dice, and I'm not going to go above and beyond for this football team because I want to stay healthy and make sure I get my payday in free agency. So I think there's a school of thought. That's the school of thought that I believe that James Cook is more invested in this team and he's willing to put his body more on the line because he did get that contract. Maybe he's not doing what he's doing right now if he didn't, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe you don't agree with that, but that's my theory.
Yeah, I mean, they would be nowhere right. I mean, James Cook's the MVP of the team right now. You can't even deny it's not Josh Allen. Like, it's not. Like, the numbers don't back it up. It's James
I think
Cook.
I agree with you.
He is. He's been their best. He's been their most consistent player this year,
100%.
without question. And like, he's doing it without like look. Do you respect Josh Allen as a passer? Of course, but there's no guy on that field that's like you're going to be worried about to defend. They got Gabe Davis is their number one guy. It seems like right now, or who that like whenever they run the one play where they bring in the fat people to run, Gabe Davis is on the field. Why? Because Gabe Davis can run block. You know, there's no like. They're not. They Watt said it afterwards. Real quick, I don't know. My apologies if you're supposed to get to this. Did you see what Hayward said after the game about Josh Allen?
Did he knee him or something?
Yeah, so I guess that was where they were talking shit. I guess was when he claims that that Josh Allen kneed him in the stomach. That's why he got the 15-yarder. And that's one thing I'll say too. Like, and obviously, like. You know, there's no video of that. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. You know, I like my Josh Allen being. I'm always careful when it comes to over analyzing mannerisms or the guy on the sideline. Or I always hate that. Like sometimes it gets too much. But I'll say this: I like when Josh Allen's talking shit and he's angry. Like I like that. Like give me Josh Allen angry talking shit. I don't need Josh Allen going rah rah. I love you. No, anyone could do that. Like I could do that to you and go like, I love you, Pat. No, I need the guy that's gonna talk shit and be like, and he was pissed. Like after that Queen hit, he was pissed, and then like throughout that game, he was talking shit, and we haven't seen that this year at all. We have not seen Josh Allen talk shit. We need Josh Allen talking shit. No more ball washing. Talk shit.
It's a good point. I think
Thank you.
I think it was Sal
I'm a great guy.
Capaccio. Sal Capaccio was talking about people in the locker room afterwards were saying that kind of fueled them and fired them up. I think he didn't get that call because he just does so much acting. Like the gig is up. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah. At times,
when you consistently act and you get away with what he's gotten away with, there's going to be a legitimate dirty shot, and that was a dirty shot from Patrick Queen. But I think that might have been a little bit of a culmination of Josh getting away with a lot and the refs knowing that. And
sure, no, he
saying,
acts.
You know what? You're gonna eat that hit, man.
He takes better bumps than Bret Hart does. I mean, in terms of like,
he does.
Like he definitely embellishes it. We're not gonna lie here. But I liked him in terms of like he was after it. I mean, was his game great? No, absolutely not. But like have fun in an angry way. You know what I mean?
Joe Rodriguez in the live chat said he agrees with you. He said angry Josh Allen talking shit and piss is a much better JA-17. Yeah. Sure. Nathan Dane says he plays way better when he's angry. Yeah, you know.
Like remember he won an award. I'm sorry, wasn't he like voted like a couple years ago for talking the most shit in the league or something like that? Like the player said he talked the most shit.
Shit. He was also the most overrated player in the league.
Yeah, but like go back to the talking shit thing. Like talk shit. Like
agreed, 100%. I'll say this: in the first half, there's a video of him. He was on the bench and he just had this look like a heel wrestler, kind of snob, like look away look. He was disgusted with the way the game was going, and you could just tell by his look. Let me bring up a point from our guy Tooch, man. Shout out Tooch. I love this comment. He says, it's funny how you could be predictable and have two totally different outcomes, Houston and today. That is a great point because they were very predictable in their game plan, both those games, but two completely outcomes in that. Yeah, look, Josh was far from perfect. Let me give you my William Matar hater of the game. Like I'm hating is what I'm telling you right now. People are gonna call it a nice little redemption story. Sorry, I can't go there. Get Keon Coleman off the field as soon as Josh Palmer gets back. You don't need him.
Hater.
Dude, he scored that touchdown.
Poor guy gets a touch.
He scored that touchdown. If Josh Allen made that play, the guy literally left him and it was a 5-6 second route, okay? We saw him, he did hold on to one, but he also dropped a slant. Dude can't run routes. Tyrell Shavers, by the way, if people want to be all 22 geeks, you want to be like Locked On Bills, Cover One, and all the
you're
film
an all
bros
22
that
geek,
Joe
so
makes
you're a
fun
geek.
of, and you want to come up, you want to look for something, watch for the way Gabe Davis and especially Tyrell Shavers blocked in this game. Tyrell Shavers had some incredible blocks in this football game.
Oh my God, run
so
blocking.
happy,
Oh,
yeah.
that's amazing. My
Anyway,
God, give me a cigarette for that.
Keon Coleman, 2 catches, 9 yards. He did have a touchdown, no.
Dude, let me just say this. I hate the wide receivers. I don't even know like what wide receivers I want on this damn on this field anymore for what they have.
It's bad.
It's not great. It's not great at all. And I'm I don't know. Like I know Palmer is like your hero, and he's gonna. I mean, he's
turning into another Samuel, bro.
Him coming back is like The Rock coming back. Like the music hits, and you can't wait for that to happen. And like I don't know. Like I'm so lost with this wide receiving core. It's so bad. It's been bad for the last 2 years, really, and I don't even know. Like I don't want to stand for anyone. I don't want to sit there and go, man, I can't wait till Palmer gets back. Like get Keon off the field. Like I have no clue what he's gonna do. Like Keon sucks. I admit that. Like, but like everyone is just terrible. You know, in terms
they need
of that.
Kincaid back. Well, they didn't need him this week, but
they need someone back. They need Kincaid.
You're not going to go on the road in January and win 3 games potentially running the football.
You're not going to get
today. It's nice. It was fun today, but you got to be able to throw the ball. And I don't trust anyone on this team. I hated the Brandon Cooks signing. I still don't like it. It's not that I hate it. It's irrelevant. I shouldn't say I hate it. I don't hate it. It's just irrelevant. It doesn't matter. He's Curtis Samuel. He's Elijah Moore. It's all the same. 1 catch, 2 catches, 15, 20 yards. That's what you're going to get, man. Kincaid's the guy who can impact the game. Palmer's capable of it if he can get on the field.
If you get on the field, it's bad, the wide receiving core. They need to, I don't care who, they need to just, I want all assets next year on wide receivers, everyone. So anyways, I digress.
I want to talk just briefly about the defense, and then I want to circle back to what you said in the beginning about, feeling better going down the stretch or whatever. Do we feel better about this football team right now? This defense has played well now for the better part of 2 games. This was and it's still a concern, but this was a major concern that this defense that they sucked. And I think they've proven the last couple of weeks that they don't suck, man. Shaq Thompson at middle linebacker. I like that shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if Sean McDermott has the gonads. If Terrell Bernard misses 2-3 weeks, and if Shaq Thompson stays healthy, which is no given, you cannot take him out of that starting lineup. He is an impactful middle linebacker. He's a physical dude. He made a couple tackles, getting off blocks that Terrell Bernard ain't making. Terrell Bernard's athletic, and I get all that. Maybe he could be in a dime package or something. I don't know. But your first, second down linebacker has got to be Shaq Thompson. He looked great. Dorian Williams looks pretty good. Matt Milano had a couple nice plays, too. He's been playing better.
Looks a little bit better.
Yeah, he's been playing better the last couple games, man. He hasn't looked lost and out of place. He's been borderline, I won't say impactful, but he's been solid. Like I said, Groot had a big play. TJ Sanders, a guy I've been keeping my eye on, the second-round rookie, he did a couple nice things, but for me, and Trey White, too, by the way. Trey White had 2 nice pass breakups. Let's give this guy a little bit of props. Nobody wants to give him credit for anything at all.
You hate him. You hate Trey White.
No,
Don't be pushing don't be playing the straw man.
Like
Trey
White.
You hate him. You should apologize. You should go get those little Debbie cakes that you've been saving that you're going to eat after the show.
15 boxes behind me, by the way.
Oh my Lord, this is insane. You need to. We need to have a segment called Pat Eats Out His Feelings for Apologies, because you should apologize to Trey White today, because you've been shitting on Trey White since day one. You hate him. You have. So don't be saying all these people aren't going to give him credit. You haven't wanted to give him credit, but
the Trey White Sunday in Pittsburgh Dairy's fucking terrible.
Oh, was it terrible? Oh, it was overpriced, wasn't it? $14, $15.
Oh man, it wasn't all that much, but it's very small.
I'm sure the Bills Broby loves it. They can't wait to go back there next year. On your defensive point, I thought it was probably the biggest issue with the defense. Obviously, look, there's times they don't get turnovers. There's times they don't get sacks. They have been very inconsistent, where in every game, there's like 1 or 2 quarters they play like complete ass, and you want to fire everyone into the sun, and then the next quarter and a half they play well. This was one of those games where they played well from start to finish. Like they played well. That hasn't happened since the Jets game, I think, where they played well from start to finish.
Agreed.
And that's what they, thank goodness they did that. I mean, they're doing it with a lot of duct tape right now. And okay, but again, this is where, like, I don't know, my respect level for Pittsburgh is not very big right now. So I don't want to like ball wash them to the gills, because next week you have the Bengals here. They have a great offense. That's a scary matchup where it's going to be, I don't want to say a shootout, but like the Bengals ain't going in there to be conservative. Like they're going to freaking try to run and gun the Bills. And I don't know like how much longer you can keep this momentum, because there are moments where the defense, even this whole season, both sides of the ball, there are quarters that they look great, and then the quarters they look horrible. And that's kind of what the Bills have been. They've been Bills polar this year in terms of, and not just games. I'm talking quarters where they look like ass, and then like they figure their shit out, or they don't figure their shit out, etc.
I would say, so if you were to ask like your biggest positive takeaway from this game, I would think it would have to be the Bills' ability to run a football, even if everyone on the other team knows it's coming. Here's my other one, and this is going to matter down the stretch. I thought Christian Benford for 2 weeks now has played pretty well, and he was great in this game. He had the interception. He was there to pick up the fumble. He had 2 nice run stops, and he shadowed, and they talked about this after the game. He said it after the game. He shadowed TK Metcalf the entire game. Came up just 3 catches for like 42 yards, 52 yards, whatever it was, 35 yards. He did a really good job. This is a guy you paid $19 million a year to, who has been kind of, by his standards, subpar for a lot of this season. But he's starting to heat up right now, and that's big, man, because you paid him to be a true lockdown kind of number 1 corner, and he's following these other receivers. I say that because, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but Cincinnati is coming next week, and it's going to be a lot of Christian Benford following Jamar Chase around. You know what I mean? So that's important for Benford to be rounding in the shape and playing his best football right now. I want to get to
Diving Pickle has a good comment.
Read it up. I'm going through something else. Go ahead.
The Bills' defense still sucks. Don't be fooled by today's results. Do you agree with that?
No.
Why don't you agree with that? I agree with that. It still sucks.
I think.
It's mediocre. I should say sucks. It's still like, I want to see I don't think the Bills. Maybe I'm wrong in saying this. I don't think they have been as tested with playing a really good offense. Like maybe you could say the Bucks, and the Bucks scored 30 on them, and the Chiefs scored like 21 or whatever, give or take. Baltimore scored 40 on them. They have looked like ass against really good offenses, I think, at times. And I think I kind of agree with them. I'm not going to sit here and say like they're great. Like they're between. They suck the blow. I don't know, like to steal a Spaceballs reference.
I see a defense that is changing right now some. I'll give you an example. This was always a defense that they could get the ball run down their throat, and Sean McDermott would just live in that nickel fucking defense no matter what. Teron Johnson ain't playing that much. They are playing, even with Terrell Bernard out, they played a ton of 4-3. They're playing 3 linebackers a lot. They're saying, you know what? We're not going to concede the run anymore like we have been. They're playing a lot more 3 linebackers. I do think personnel-wise, I think with Shaq Thompson in the game, I think he's significantly better, at least at stopping the run, than Terrell Bernard is.
But here's the thing. Next week, though, you're going to play your nickel against the Bengals. You're not playing 3-4-3 basic, because especially if Higgins is back, like they're going to want to pass the ball all over them.
Well, I mean, look, the Bengals are going to make a lot of defenses look bad. I mean, I'm not sure that you could use the Bengals as like the ultimate parameter to judge a team's defense. Okay.
Well, you're ball washing the defense a little bit too much here. I think.
I think they're playing better, and I think they're schematically, they're philosophically, I feel like they're changing. I saw Cam Lewis playing some safety today instead of Jordan Hancock in situations, which it feels like they're unlike the Bills' offense where Joe Brady ain't changing. I kind of feel like the defense is kind of changing now.
Well, it's Sean McDermott's defense. It's not Babbich's defense anymore, or whoever the hell it is.
Oh
so.
no, there's no. There it is. Pat is pandering to the Bills.
I mean, Diving Pickle? Can we just have a pandering like chart every like By the way, great name. I'm sure Pat gets that call. He's called Diving Pickle by his wife. Never mind. That's too crass for this podcast. But anyways, I would say keep a list of like the pandering moments. I want to review them at the end of the chat. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm not. We'll see what the defense. I think they have. Sorry to interrupt. I think they have some interesting games coming up with the Eagles Bengals. I know the Eagles offense has struggled this year. Like their passing game has been like, and Barkley just doesn't look that good. But they're a good matchup against the Bills. Like they can kind of run all over them if they wanted to.
Sure. Orville says in the live chat, enjoyable second half, but please don't let that distract you from the fact that this passing game is fundamentally, perhaps irreparably flawed. Go Sabres.
Sabres.
I say that all the time on Facebook. Go Sabres.
Yeah, you do.
Is it? Yeah, it's flawed.
No, it's flawed. I mean,
can we accept the fact though that this might be a team that, if they have a January run, this might be a team that what you saw today, maybe hopefully a little bit better when they have to throw the ball. I mean, in fairness, if you have Dawkins and Spencer Brown and Dalton Kincaid and Josh Palmer available, you should expect your passing offense to be better. I think that's a reasonable thing to be able to say. But this might be a team that maybe they go to Denver or Indy or New England, wherever it may be, and they run the football to win, and they play good defense and play action, and
look, it's I mean, look, the AFC is still wide open, and I said that 100 times. Like no one scares me in terms of against the Bills, but the Bills don't scare me at all. I mean, I don't. It's very hard to assess how good or bad they're going to be going forward. But you're right. Like they could go to Denver. Like I like their chances in Denver. I like their chances against the Colts and Indy. I like their chances against New England. I like their chances against everyone. But I also think they can lose too. It's a very, very. It's unlike years past where I felt like, oh man, they could kill this team. Like it's done. Like I don't think they could kill like the playoff teams this year, but I also don't. I can also see those playoff teams not being as successful against them. So
that's fair. I think you can say that about every team in the AFC, though. I really feel that way. I think any team in the AFC can beat any team in the AFC. I don't think there's any dynamos, and if there are, they're going to be teams that might not even make the playoffs, which is just wild to even to really even think about. Yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals are scary. We'll get to that in a second. By the way, earlier in the show, because I got to know, if I don't know something and you bring it up, I got to find it out throughout the course of the show. You asked, you couldn't remember when the last time the Steelers actually won a playoff game.
Yes.
What do you think it is? Take a guess.
Okay, let me think about that. Not against the Bills. No, well, take a guess. I don't know. Go. Was it last year? Please don't say it was
before the Bills broke the drought. Put it that way.
Okay, yeah, it's been a while. That's why Tomlin's been there forever, and it's just like I get it. Like, I don't know. Someone in the chat, the earlier comments said like Tomlin and McDermott are the same. Like they said that earlier.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. You do?
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't agree with that either. I mean, the reason why is Tomlin to me strikes me as someone who. McDermott takes chances. He goes for it a lot on fourth down. He's at least at late advance. Tomlin is not. Now with that being, and then obviously like there are like Bruce Arians, like the one story I will always remember was Bruce Arians was the offensive coordinator in the Steelers, and the Steelers were passing all over the place, and then he fired Bruce Arians. They got rid of him because he wanted to. They got Todd Haley because they wanted to run the football more, which. It could be a little bit of what McDermott has done a little bit because he got rid of Dorsey and wasn't thrilled with Dable because they weren't running the football enough. So, but like I do think McDermott is better in terms of like he's more of a gambler. So 2016 I saw is
it was I was going to say it was 2016 is the last time the Steelers have won a playoff game. I was going to go somewhere, and I completely forgot because I went back to thinking.
Okay, well, let me ask this because we're at about 80. We're over an hour right now. Let me ask you initially: did this game change your perception about the Bills? I mean, you picked them to lose this game. Did it change your perception? Like, do you feel more positive going forward, or do you feel the same?
I feel 20%, 15 to 20% more positive after this game.
15 to 20. Why do you feel more positive? We know they can run. We know they can run the football. That's never been an issue. Like, you know that. I know that. So you said the biggest takeaway from this game was rushing the football. Like, so, okay, you're right, but they've done this 100 times. They've rushed the football pretty well.
This game changed it for me a little bit, not a ton, but in part because I'm starting to feel better about the defense. I think the defense has been playing better. They've been playing better against the run. I really like what they did at middle linebacker. I think Matt Milano's playing better. Why are you shaking your head like he's not? Is Matt Milano playing better?
No, because you're doing it. You feel better about their defense. Who do they play? Aaron Rodgers sucks. He's done. He's going to be on RFK's freaking staff next year.
What am I supposed to say? I don't care because they didn't play a good enough team, so nothing changes?
Yeah, nothing changes.
Bullshit.
Just say you don't know. Just say you don't know. Like, I think the defense is one good opponent away from being flushed down the toilet.
So's 31 others.
Who's the 31 other? Well, okay, awesome, great, good one.
You asked me a question. You asked me a question, and then you're ripping me when I'm trying to give you the reasons behind my answer.
Because you think the defense is great now. All of a sudden,
I don't think the defense is great.
Whatever.
I think the defense is playing better.
Okay.
I think the defense is playing better.
But
I think Matt Milano's playing better. I think Shaq Thompson's good at linebacker. I think Christian Benford's playing better. I think Bishop continues to get better every game. Some other guys, but I have a little more faith in this defense. Not to shut a team down, but to make stops. And I believe in Josh Allen. And Josh Allen played bad at times today, but what else did he do? That touchdown to Keon Coleman, a couple other things he created, the touchdown run. He still makes things out of nothing. So I believe in the quarterback. I don't believe any less in this team. And I think you're selling the Steelers at least mildly short. I mean, again, you're acting like these are the freaking New Orleans Saints that the Bills just played this week. This is a tough team on the road with 4 guys on the offense down, and the Bills went in there and dominated them. The mindset, I believe in the mindset. So I feel better that they can have the right mindset to win games.
Okay.
You don't care. I get it.
No, I mean, look, I feel like they're very bipolar. Look, they're 4-4 in the last 8 games.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you're asking. Like, if I feel better, like you said, you feel 20% better. I feel the same. I don't, they could beat anyone, but they can lose to anyone. I know it's cliche. I'm not going to have a Victory Monday shirt tomorrow and go, all you people who thought they were wrong, they were bad, you were losers. Ha ha ha. No, like they played the Steelers, who Aaron Rodgers is terrible. And yeah, they played better defense last week, but against Austin Mills III, or whatever the fuck that loser's name is.
I think you can say the same thing about every team in the AFC, though.
You're right, and that's exactly, you're right. You can say that about every team. And
Texans won today. Should you feel better about them because they won this week? Jacksonville beat the Tennessee Titans. Should you feel better about them this week?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing that I keep going back to. No one in the AFC scares me. And I really believe that it will be, yeah, and that's good. In a way, it might be one of those who's hot when the season ends, like, or December, like who is going to be hot and like can ride that momentum. And I don't know if the Bills can get there. On defense, I don't think they can. Offense, maybe, with Dalton Kincaid coming back, your boy Palmer, who you got going on the Wall of Fame. That I want to see what that happens there. But you're right, there is no. But I don't feel better. I don't that I feel kind of the same. They can win. They can beat anyone, but they can lose to anyone. That's
Denver's defense is legit and solid and very, very much for real. They also were last year. The Bills' offense pissed on them last year, but that's neither here nor there. I will give Denver their defense.
And Bonix and he hasn't been great. He's been
he hasn't. But I'm just talking defenses. All right, them aside, the Patriots. I'm talking about the other best teams in the AFC. The Patriots defense, I need to see something late in the season. They haven't really proven much at all to me. The Ravens might not even make the playoffs, and for whatever reason, I don't even know why, but that defense has been a borderline disaster for them this season. The Colts don't have a great defense. Houston does have a great offense, but they're probably not even going to make they might not even make the playoffs. Who knows? The Chiefs are so-so. The Steelers had an okay defense. The Chargers, so they're okay. They're decent. Jacksonville, they're not scaring anybody. Nobody's got a defense real. Cincinnati's got no defense. All these teams, Miami, nobody in the standings has a great defense.
I just said the same thing but 10 words less. Yes. It's 10 words less, Mr. Truncate. You can't truncate. Anyways. What else is there? Are we done? I mean, we have 120.
No, I did want to talk about like where they stand now. Like you were asking
we just talked about it.
We didn't.
We just talked about where they stand.
All right, where are they right now in the standings?
I read your rundown for seventh.
Oh, did you actually read it?
Yeah, seventh. They're the 7th seed right now.
Right now, the Bills are 8-4, and they're the 7th seed. If the season started tomorrow or the playoffs started tomorrow, they'd be playing at Denver. They're the 7th seed, but they're in good shape. And you look at the teams right now, they needed this victory. Put it this way. Here's what I said coming into this game. Pittsburgh on the road, Cincinnati at home. You better win one of those two games. And I still think Cincinnati next week is very important. But you have to win one of those two games to stay pace with where you need to get to 10 wins. They did that already against Pittsburgh. And I look at these other teams. The Chargers and Indy are both 8-4. And they're tied with the Bills, but they're both ahead of the Bills because of the conference record for the moment. But I'm looking at these schedules, Joe, real quick. The Chargers still got to play Philly, at Kansas City, at Dallas, Houston, and at Denver. They could go 1-4 in those games, let alone 2-3. Indy still got to play Jacksonville twice. They're at Seattle. They got Frisco, and they're at Houston. That's a tough-ass schedule. Jacksonville's leading the AFC South. But again, they play Indy twice. They're at Denver. There's tough games out there. If the Bills get to 10 wins, I'm feeling really, really, really comfortable that the Bills are going to get to the playoffs right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping too. If they lost today's game, it would have been a disaster.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess my whole thing, I can't believe though, them being the 7th seed, it's like 8-4. Like I just completely took a dump on the AFC, but like, it's very top heavy in terms of like 8-4 normally would be like a 3rd seed. You know what I mean? In terms of that, like 8-4 doesn't feel like a 7th seed. Like 7th seed should be like, oh, you're 6-6 or something like that. You know what I mean? In terms of,
yeah,
but like, it's just one of those annoying things about the playoff scenario. Like with like, if you're in a shitty division, you win that division, like, Mazel tov to you. You're going to be like the 4th seed, even though you'll be 2 games less than the 5th seed or the 6th seed or whatever. That's why in my opinion, sorry to interrupt, but like in my opinion, like whatever the wild card games are, I think there's going to be a couple road teams that are going to be the favorites. In terms of those. The Bills, I think it could be favorites going to Denver. Let me ask you this, and then give me your top 4 AFC teams right now. Top 4.
I don't know.
Come on, you could do it. You could do it.
New England and Denver are 2 of them.
Okay.
I don't think it's Indy anymore. Indy was 8-2. Now they're 8-4. The Indianapolis Colts could end up missing the playoffs. They're 8-4 right now. They were 8-2, and they can miss the playoffs. Again, they played Jacksonville twice. They're at Seattle. They played Frisco, and they're at Houston. Okay. They very easily could lose 4 of those last 5 potentially. They might miss the playoffs, man. 3 of those last 5 might make them get out of there. I don't know who the other 2 are right now.
Oh, give me a number. Buffalo. So you got Buffalo. Okay, 3rd is Buffalo.
Shit, man. I keep wanting to say Baltimore, but I cannot say Baltimore anymore. Yeah. I know they got a great roster, but they're not a great team anymore, man. Or they're not this year anyway. Maybe Jacksonville. Or the Chargers.
Why not Houston? Why are you disrespecting Houston?
Because their offense not good, man.
But you know what? You're right. Their offense has been sus. But like, if they get some sort of offensive play,
they got their quarterback back. That's a good point.
Yeah, he's back. I think the Texans can be really, really good if they get on a roll. Like, I don't know what's up with Stroud. Like, Stroud's been like, he was great his rookie year. He hasn't taken the next step forward. He's kind of been meh. But a lot of it I think has to do with injuries. But like, if their offense like rolls at defense, I mean, we saw it last week against the Bills. That defense they're ferocious. I'm not buying the Jags. Fuck the Jags.
I don't know.
Fuck Duville, Tony Khan, worst wrestling promoter of all time.
For people who wanted to know, Alex Barber said one needs to happen for the Bills to win the division. All right, well, for starters, they got to win out. That goes without saying. The Patriots would have to lose to the Bills. They play at Baltimore the next week. They'd have to lose that game. That would put them in a tie in terms of losses. However, New England would still have a tiebreaker. So basically, if you want the Bills to have a reasonable chance to win the division, the Bills got to win out, and New England would have to lose to Buffalo, Baltimore, and then a shitty team that they're expected to beat. And they play 3 of them. Monday night, tomorrow night, or tonight when you're listening to this, they play the Giants in Foxborough. They play on the road against the New York Jets, who I'll give them credit for this. They're not quitting, the Jets. And then they're at home in Week 18 against Miami, who's kind of on a roll. They're not going to make the playoffs, but who knows? McDaniel, maybe he's playing for some pride. Divisional games at New York and Miami to end the season. Never say never. You know what I mean? Divisional games could get funny, but yeah, it's not. Plus, again, the Bills would have to win out for that to happen. And then the one last thing I wanted to say, too, because people in the chat, and you brought this up, and I didn't get a chance to really reply about the Tomlin-McDermott comparison. Here's why I think they're radically different. If that game was the exact opposite today, Joe, and the Bills were down 16 and helpless, and Pittsburgh was running the ball down their throat and they couldn't stop it, you know what Sean McDermott would have done in the fourth quarter? Use his timeouts. He would have used their timeouts. He would have kept coaching to try to win the football game. Mike Tomlin was done. He just wanted to get his team off the field. There was still 5-6 minutes left in the game, and he didn't even start using his timeouts. That's unacceptable. There was also one drive. Now, this isn't him. This is the coordinator, which is a coaching problem. But I remember in the second half, it was 3rd and 9, and Pittsburgh ran the football for 7 yards and then punted on 4th and 2. I'm thinking in my mind, if that was Joe Brady calling a run play on 3rd and 9 and they get 7 and then they punt, I'd be losing my shit. So the coaching in Pittsburgh, horrific. And you could say what you want about Sean McDermott being a game day manager or whatever, but that team quit a little bit today, Pittsburgh. They were just getting gas. They were blown away, and I don't see that happening if it were the Bills. So,
yeah. By the way, there's some chatter online by the content bros that Bosa left the game with a hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know if hopefully he'll be fine for next week.
Yeah, I seen him walking around a little bit, but who knows?
That's all I need is the Bengals. The Bengals. That would be. Look, I can never think. What's the record? Like 3-9 or 3-8?
They're 4-8.
I never thought in my wildest dreams that beating a 4-8 team would make me feel much better about your team.
Well, Burrow's 8-0 in his last 8 starts. So.
Oh, sure. But I'm just saying. I get that. I'm just saying in general. And Burrow has, I don't want to say like. How do I want to word this? Are the Bengals like Josh Allen's biggest weakness since he's been the man? Like, in terms of
2.5 times, Burrow's definitely owned the Bills, and he's outplayed Josh Allen hasn't played as good against the Bengals as Burrow has against the Bills.
But even go ahead. But
I was going to say, you want to hear something wild?
Sure, go ahead.
So Cincinnati's 4-8.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore and Pittsburgh are both 6-6. So they're 2 games out. And Pittsburgh and Baltimore play each other twice. Let's say they split. Cincinnati still plays Baltimore again. Cincinnati's not done. They could go 9-8, run the table, and potentially even win this division. So they end the season. Again, they just beat Baltimore. They end the season. What did they do against Pittsburgh? They split against Pittsburgh. Anyway, they play at Buffalo. Then they're at home against Baltimore. Then their last 3 at Miami, at home against Arizona, at home against Cleveland. If they could beat the Bills this week, they could beat Baltimore at home the following week, they got a legit, real chance to run the table. And with the way the AFC South is going, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, very flawed teams, the Bengals are not done. So if you're thinking in your mind, you're just looking at the records, they're 4-8, they're done. Don't think that way, because I guarantee you Cincinnati is coming to Orchard Park on Sunday, and this is a legit playoff game to the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a big game. I mean, I'm sure we might do a post game after it. It's going to be a 1:00 game, right? So
is it? Yeah, we'll figure that out during the week. Anything else before we get out of here?
Does anyone in the chat have any questions for us in the next 25 seconds before we leave? Well, I can read it.
I've been going through. I put a lot of them up on the screen, and I've been, I've read.
Well, I've been reading. I don't know why you don't give me control of the chat, and I could just say Jimmy wants to say this.
I don't know why
Yes.
you just don't do that on your own. You don't need them all to come up on the screen.
I
Richard
do
Rush
because
thinks
I want to
the
read
Bills
them.
are going to beat
You're right.
Cincinnati.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay, yeah, you know what? You're right, but I should be in control. So, Tomlin's eyes are creepy. Man pops out. That's what Paul Walker says. Yes, he does have creepy eyes, Mike Tomlin. I mean, they're a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I don't know.
if I'm a Steelers fan, I want him gone. I think there's a chance if they miss the playoffs, he could be gone. You got to make a change at
Dude,
some
they
point,
don't,
man.
but they don't fire anyone, dude. They never fire anyone. They've had 4 head
man.
coaches. But I don't know.
They see there's too much talent on that team, top end talent to play the way they did today and just kind of throw in the towel. Think about some of their star players. Like if the Bills had Casey Hayward and TJ Watt on that defensive line, the Buffalo defensive line, holy shit, man. They got some ballers on that team. But
they have an old team though. They don't forget that. It's an older team. It really is.
How many Christmas tree snacks has Pat had? I've had 2 today. I'm going to eat these 15 boxes, which, by the way, it was 17. Now it's 15. It's Christmas time, dude. What is it? I can't tell by your backdrop. Is your shit up yet? Mine's not, and I'm not happy about it either.
Okay, here's diving pickle here. Pat, if you don't think Tomlin and McDermott are similar, you are fucking high. Yes, McDermott is more aggressive on 4th down, but even your boy Sal and Beauvais said how similar they are. Oh, so you see the Sal's house presented by is always game day in Buffalo crew disagrees with you. What do you have to say to that, huh?
I said the difference is Sean McDermott's not quitting. Mike Tomlin quit today in that 4th quarter. I don't care what anyone says. Sean McDermott is calling timeouts and he's trying to make a stop. It was a 16-point game. Maybe you force a fumble. Maybe they miss a field goal, a longer field goal, and you get the ball with a chance. They just surrendered. They wanted the game to be over. How do you not use your timeouts? None of them at any point. They just let them run 9 minutes. It's not even that they couldn't stop them. It's that they didn't even call timeout and make any attempt to stop the clock. So to me, that says I quit. And Sean McDermott wouldn't do that.
Paul Walker makes a good comment. Not his boy, his guy. So anyone who ever says in the chat, Pat's boy, no, it's Pat's guy.
That's fair.
Pat uses guy. So Beauvais and Sal are guy.
One last little thing. No one's talking about this. So I'll ask you. You love to speculate. You love gossip. You're Joe MZ.
Love it.
You're Joe MZ. Matt Prater missed another extra point today, 2nd straight week.
Where's Tyler Bass?
Where's Tyler Bass?
Is he dead? I don't know.
Why is he not being discussed? Like, what's going on with him?
Why don't you ask your guys on the Bills bro beat to find out instead of trying to book hotels in Rochester next year so they can fucking take selfies
Groin
in front of the
soreness, hernia, whatever.
Queen.
Why is there's no updates? Why? I thought his practice window should have been open last week if he was healthy. I'm going to double down one more time. This guy missed another extra point. That's starting to concern me. It didn't matter today. It mattered against Houston. It did matter. What's going on with Tyler Bass and why are we not hearing about him?
I think.
Is it more than injury? Is it?
I think so. He can't. How are you going to be out for 3 fucking months from a hamstring injury?
No, it was his groin. Groin soreness.
Same thing. Whatever.
He got a kick, but
I guess. I think maybe they think he lost his. Look, he had confidence issues last year, and he finished okay. But maybe they know he's damaged goods, and they're like, "Fuck it." So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. So
it's weird. I believe so. He was hurt. I think he kicked in the final preseason game. He missed a kick.
Yeah.
And haven't heard from him since. If he ain't practicing this week after Prater's missed an extra point back-to-back weeks, you can officially take your Tyler Bass jersey and put it in the closet for the rest of the season because fucking he ain't playing this season.
Ralph Wilson, Senior 3728. Do we have 2 Ralph Wilsons now in the chat?
No,
he's talking about.
I think that's the OG one.
Oh no, he added some numbers. He's talking about sports hernia. Maybe
could be. I'd love to know. I'd love to get some kind of clarification.
Yeah,
he's on the active roster. I mean, he's not on the active roster, but he's on the roster. Like practice squad guys, you're not allowed to ask about, or you don't have to discuss if they're asked about with injuries because it's none of our business or whatever. But he's on the roster. He's on the team. I don't know, man. I don't know why he's okay. I'd love to know. I guess I'd love to be a fly on the wall to know is what I'm saying right now. So
anyway, let me end this on a better note or a fun note. What are your thoughts in 1 minute or less about John Cena? I feel like we have to give him an ode because his career's ending.
Yeah.
In a week and he's got one more match, and I feel. I want you to tell me. What do you like? Cena? Cena sucks.
Yes.
What are your? Go ahead.
I like Cena. He's fun. He reminds me of old school, like the 80s kind of character.
course,
You know what I mean? The
Has
hulking
there
up,
ever
the do-gooder.
has there ever been a more improved big time wrestler than him? Like, can you
Probably
think?
not.
Can you like because The Rock always had it. Like in terms of wrestling, Steve
Yeah.
Austin could wrestle right away. John Cena, I don't give a shit what anyone says. Like in 2005 in the 2000s, he couldn't wrestle, and
No.
he wasn't. And then he got really good all of a sudden. So he deserves his flowers. My ball washer of the game is John Cena. So there you go.
That was
Ergonomics.
cool on Survivor Series. I thought I didn't really watch most of it. I saw highlights. Thought it was a pretty weak show and all.
It kind of was, but
losing
that was a good
cool.
match. That was a good
losing to
match.
Dom was cool. Put Dom over. Liv Morgan comes out, and nobody gets hurt by that. That's a good way to do it.
They need to put the title on Dom. Enough of this. Dom is the man. Punk needs to put him over. Dom. The future is Dom.
Shout out to my buddy Mike at Imperial Pizza. He gave me a prediction last night when we were having some beers, actually. He said, I bet you now Dom Mysterio wins the briefcase at Money in the Bank in 2026, and then he cashes it in. That would be a hell of a moment. The crowd would definitely pop for that. But with Cena, the only thing I don't like, I like the idea of him having a tournament or whatever to see who he wrestles last, but it's clearly going to be Gunther, and I don't need Gunther to retire him. Gunther's already, he's been a multi-time world champion. That should have been a younger guy, like maybe a Carmelo Hayes or somebody on the come up. What
about LA Knight? What if LA Knight wins and he turns heel? But he turns heel? That wouldn't make sense. Like, he turns heel. Like, they need heels. They kind of don't have enough heels. They need heels. And LA Knight's kind of gone his... I get what you're saying. I think
LA Knight's kind of corny. Plus, he's not even young anymore. He's old.
So are you. So let's fucking...
Why don't
we get Shane on this podcast since you're old, you fucker? You're older than all of them.
David on the live chat said John Cena was better than John Cena. Okay. That's a way to end it. We're talking wrestling there. He said, Tooch. Sami Zayn was the dude in the hoodie. Just one man's opinion. I don't agree.
No,
I've seen
allegedly, it's supposed to be that other
Austin
asshole.
Theory.
Yeah, Austin Theory. I mean, that would be cool. I mean, I don't know. They got so much talent right now there, but I do think some guys need to turn heel.
Yes.
Like they're too much on the babyface side, and they're part timers. Like Brock's a good heel, but he's never fucking there. So
Paul Walker said Gunther is great, though. He's a beast. He is.
He is a beast.
I'm just saying there's not a lot for him to gain
Paul
by being
wants,
the one to retire.
Pat, I called you Paul. Jesus Christ. Pat wants someone that's like young and is like in that mid card that needs to be like.
Yeah,
you would like Braun Breaker to kill him, probably, right? Like
sure. I mean, that's not he's not even in the tournament, but yeah,
I know,
somebody
but someone like
someone
him,
along those lines, a Bronson Reed, somebody still kind of on the come up. Gunther's already there. It doesn't. Why not just have Roman Reigns retire him at that point?
What about Drew McIntyre? Would you have gone for that or no?
I mean, it would have been the worst. It could have been a nice notch on his belt, probably. Sure. Edge coming out and beating him would have been the best, but that's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah, it's not happening.
All right, let's get out of here before the hour 30 mark, man.
We're out.
Appreciate everybody as always for watching, for listening. What?
Yes. No, I was going to say, make sure you share this podcast with others, retweet it. Pat needs those listens. He is obsessed with listens and paying his bills, and he can't handle if it's always game day and Buffalo Sal's house is better than his podcast, and he can't handle when Podfather's better, or he can't handle when the John Fina show is better. So definitely, if you don't retweet this or share with others, Pat will fire me, and he'll bring someone else on who is a panderer, like Matt Rich Warren the 7th will get like 2 shows, or Yurden will come back, or Aaron Quinn, or one of the 75 cover 1 NWOB team guys.
Joe Yurden. That's a guy I haven't had out in quite a while, man. Got to get him on.
You got to pretend you give a shit about hockey, so you got to get some hockey people on.
I don't give a shit about
I keep forgetting about the Sabres. Sorry, that would be out of here. Every time the Sabres, I'm like, I haven't watched a full game at all this season. Like, I see highlights. I'm like, they're 500. Then I watch, and then they get torched. And then they played well. They won yesterday against the Wild.
That's what they do. They go to Minnesota and they beat a team that they got no business beating. Then they'll put together another win, and then you start to get in a little bit, and then they'll go lose 3 or 4, and they're right back in the shit.
I'm waiting until I don't give a shit what happens. I'm waiting until the season ends for the Bills, and then you can start asking me Sabres questions. And that's it. All right, let's wrap it up.
Guys, thank you for watching, for listening. I do appreciate you very much. We'll have biggest takeaways after film and stats and all that other stuff tomorrow. Yeah, all 22 day coming, and then Matt Warren will join me. Matt Rich Warren the 7th will join me on Wednesday. Positional analysis and grades. Set up a big week, by the way. Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be a big game, man. Anyway, thank you very much. Be back. Brand new show coming at you tomorrow.